Hi all, hope you're doing okay, wherever you are in the world. So, got this hand in front of me. So, I just done a little bit of commentary on BBO, and I got a bit of abuse actually from a couple of people. I wouldn't say abuse, but they had a go at me for this board here because after it, I sort of said there was like a catalogue of errors, and a lot of people came back. Well, a lot. When I say a lot, I mean like a couple of people basically said, I don't think you can say that, okay, in commentary, because it's like a negative comment, okay? So they're sort of saying you can't really call the players. But all I was doing was stating facts, in my opinion. So I just thought it'd be interesting to go over the board. So I called it a catalogue of errors. So let's have a look at these errors. All right. So first things first, West is on first to bid and passes, North passes, and East with this hand, with a 7 count, decides to open third in hand. So sometimes in third in hand, you can open light. Now, me personally, I don't like opening light with a really poor suit. So if I'm going to open light, then I like to have like a decent, I like it to be like a good lead. Okay. That's what I like. So if I've got something like King, Queen, Jack of Hearts or King, Queen, Jack of Diamonds or something like that, or even King, Jack, that kind of thing. But this, you don't want this suit necessarily being led to you. So I don't agree with East one heart bid. So that's kind of the first error, in my opinion. All right, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18. Uh, with an 18 counting. Now, me personally, with three hearts and a bit of a ropey four-card spade suit, I think I'd have rather bid one no trump. Now, I'm not saying that's an error, all right? They do have an 18 count, and you could argue they could upgrade this with this 10 and 9 of clubs. It's also got three aces. So you could argue that maybe they were upgrading it. So I think that's fine. Okay, so the double, and also you do have four spades. So I think that's kind of fine. So they double, West passes, South with only a 7 count, and this King of Hearts, which isn't very well placed, now bids one spade. And then South now catches up and bids a no trump. So this is now showing sort of 18, 19 count. So that's good. That's fine. Pass. And then North bids, I guess, two no trumps, which is, I guess, a natural bid. Same partner, do you fancy bidding three no trumps or not? And then South just decides to bid three no trumps. Um, 7. I think there's a case for North just to bid three no trumps over one no trump, rather than confusing the issue. But maybe they didn't like the 4-3-3 shape, and maybe they didn't like the King of Hearts. I don't know. But anyway, they got to three no trumps. So far, just one mistake. All right. Um, Next thing that happened, well, I think the lead's fine because you can't really argue against playing the Queen of Hearts. And that's what was led. Now, if you go back and have a look at Gibb, the right lead is, I mean, I'm not saying it's the right lead, okay, but the Jack of Spades or a small spade is the thing that can take this contract off. All right. But they didn't get that, obviously, because East bid a heart. And so you can't really blame West for leading a heart. So that's not an error. So far, it's still only one error. They played the Queen of Hearts, and North covered it. East played low, South played low. And so if you count your tricks, you've got three heart tricks, spade is 4, diamond is 5, and likely 4 club tricks with the bidding here. Is likely going to bid a king of clubs here, but it's not necessarily guaranteed. So North then plays the queen of clubs, hoping to pick up East king, and that doesn't materialize. Okay. West then decides to get off lead. So rather than continue partner's suit, which now he's decided is utter trash. So if we have a look at Gibb, all right, so he still should be making this contract now. Plays a club, another club, and wins with the ace. All right, so that's fine. And I think now plays another club just to basically squeeze East a little bit. Okay, and now plays, so what have we got? We've got 3 tricks, 4 tricks, 5, 6, 7, and a spade trick 8. So the only danger here now is if spades break 4-1. So we've got 3 tricks, 4, 5, 6, and we're trying to get 2 spade tricks. Now, after East has opened the bidding with 1 heart, and we're pretty much certain that East is likely to have the ace. Now, when people open light, they don't generally open really, really light, as in like a 2 count or something like that. So they usually, when they open 1 or something, they've got about sort of 8 points kind of thing. It's usually not a good idea to open third in hand with like a 2 count or something like that, because it can go really badly. Then partner could end up sacrificing or overbidding or doubling them and things like that. So you can probably put East down for the ace of spades. Okay, but regardless, a small spade is played, and then West puts in the 9. Now here, the correct play is actually to play low, all right? Because if you assume that East has got the ace of spades, which they most likely have, it's got to be right to play low here, just in case it's a singleton. Now, some of you might think, oh, that's really double dummy, but you can afford to play low here because you've got these winners here. And as long as you can get 2 spade tricks, so in other words, if the spades are 3-2, so in other words, on the 9, you play low. And if this hand plays a low one, right, you haven't lost anything because East has still only got, say, ace X. Now, if East has got ace X, you're gaining. Sorry, you're not losing. And if East has got ace to 3, you're not losing. So it can't cost you, in my opinion, to play low. So that was like the second mistake. So they go in with the queen, play the ace, play another heart back. Okay. Now at this point, it's probably right to play the club. And the reason being is you want it's an exit card for West. So what you're doing is you're basically clearing the suit. All right. So although if you look at Gib, it says that whatever you play, you're still 1 off at this point. But they play a spade, all right? And then West puts in the 10, small, throws something away. Okay, so if you have a look at Gib, still 1 off, all right? So they've got to come back a club or a diamond. So at this point, I think it's clear cut that West can play a club. They've got a nice, easy exit card of a club. And South has given them that option of now playing a club back. So that was kind of this mistake from South. Now West makes another a mistake here. All right, and plays the 4 of spades. This is just an abysmal mistake, in my opinion. Absolutely horrendous play, because they know the partner's out of spades, and they know what all the spades are. So playing a spade here just gives a spade trick up. So it's an absolutely abysmal play. Okay. And then that's it. That's the end of the hand. All right. They've got now a spade, a heart, ace of diamonds, and the club. They've got 4 more tricks to add on to the 5. They've got 9 tricks. So I got hammered for basically saying, by a couple of people saying that was a catalogue of errors, and I shouldn't have said that. I was being a bit offensive or something. But the reality is, they're just the facts. All right. Sometimes bridge players make a catalogue of errors. And if I make a catalogue of errors, I'll say, I'll put my hand up and say, I played absolutely terrible there. But if you've got reason for doing certain things, I mean, obviously, when we're looking at the game as a commentator, we can see all 4 hands. So it obviously makes the hands much easier, okay? And certain times you're clouded by certain judgment, or you see certain cards and you start formulating an opinion in your head of how things, what cards partner might have, or you expect partner to have for playing certain cards, or because they don't play certain cards back, or they play certain cards or make certain bids, you assume, you make certain assumptions, and sometimes they're terribly wrong, okay? And that's just sort of that just goes with the territory, all right, of being a bridge player. Sometimes you can get things off, really badly wrong, where you can unblock cards and you end up giving away tricks because you're unblocking, throwing away high cards, and they're actually winners that you should have been keeping, and things like that can happen, okay? But here, there's just some terrible bridge going on, all right? And you just have to say, and I don't think I was too critical in the way I said. I just said it was a catalogue of errors, and here it is. There's a catalogue of errors on this hand. What am I supposed to say as a commentator? applaud and say this is really great bridge. No, the best thing you can do is look back at it and see where the errors are and learn from those errors. So that's why I made this little video here, so that you can see that people make errors. All right, it's bridge. It's a really complicated game. It's really difficult. But sometimes it's easier than what they're trying to make it. All right. On this hand, they made lives difficult for themselves for no reason, I think, at certain times. So that was all my take on this particular hand. So there we have it. I'm calling it a catalogue of errors. So there we have it. Catalogue of errors.